you.
No, thank you. With that, can we have our last jingle? Welcome to ABC Yoga. I'm Amy, Bill, an occasional cat, and our D, we have our dog, we have our Max, and there's a butterball showing. So I'm going to mute all. We may put this up on YouTube. Mute all. Stacy's in a seated position, so we're going to start there with Max. So good morning. Let's find our sits bones into the earth. Beautiful tall spine. We take a nice breath in through the nose. Sigh it out. Two more like that. We breathe in. Feel the lift of our chest. Beautiful long exhale. And draw one more breath in through the nostrils. Open up the mouth, let it go. As we seal our lips, close our eyes, and just find these initial moments to settle in, to get grounded, to place and find our roots. And do a quick check-in, just noticing your emotional state. We check into our energy levels. Noticing if we're sleepy, active, judging, just checking in, not changing it, just noticing.
All of the above.
And then finally finding that connection with our breath, the most important part of our yoga practice. That consistent rhythmic breathing. And inviting you to bring your prayer at your heart center, bowing your forehead to the tips of your fingers as you set an intention or perhaps dedicate your practice out into the world. Gently fluttering your eyelids open. Let's place our tips of our fingers on the floor. Again, find that rootedness. And on an inhale, we'll reach our palms up overhead. Turn the palms away on the exhale as you exhale all the breath out. 3 more like that. We sip in the inhale. Exhale. 2 more. We breathe in. Exhale. 1 more. Beautiful breath in. And on the exhale, let's just turn to the right. Exhale it out. Inhale the arms up. We'll turn in the opposite direction. 2 more. We breathe in. Twist 1 more time to the right. Last one, we inhale. And twist to the left. Coming back to neutral, we'll take that right arm up and over. Slight bend in that left elbow. And straighten through that arm. Taking a deeper bend in that left elbow. Feel that gorgeous stretch. Those sits bones are rooted. And we'll come to the other side. That left arm lifts. Slight bend in the right elbow. Keep that arm straight, lengthening. Maybe turn your chest a little further up towards the sky. And we'll transition onto our hands and knees. So hands underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips. We'll bump our hips side to side. We'll tap some energy into the tops of our feet. And let's scoop that left hand high, spread the fingers, and we'll take that left arm to the floor, left ear to the mat. Walk the right hands to the corner. Eyes are soft or closed. Feel your toenails, maybe root through the shins. Soften the face. Enjoy one more breath in. We let that go. Unravel, we'll extend that left hand back up towards the sky as we lower it down, and we'll take the other hand high, and let's thread that needle, right ear to the floor. We walk the left hand towards the top of the mat, root through those shins, find that connection with your breath. Please take one more inhale. We'll let that go. Unravel, extend that right hand back up towards the sky. We'll lower it down to the mat, and we'll squeeze those knees into that center plane. So the left leg will extend, toes towards the mat. That right shin roots. Lift the left heel, and we'll extend the opposite hand, that right hand, thumb up towards the sky. So finding the balance, lengthening through the neck. On an inhale, we'll squeeze the elbow in towards the knee, round that back body, then extend with the exhalation. 3 more. Squeeze as we breathe in, lengthen as we exhale. Last 2. Last one here. Find that connection, extend. Now take a bend in that left knee. Take the right hand around. You can find the heel, the ankle, and kick that left leg up towards the sky. You can walk that left hand so it's underneath your shoulder. Find the balance. Beautiful. One more breath here. On an exhalation, we'll extend, let it go, and just wag your tail between sides. On your next inhale, the right leg extends. Find those toes. We lift the heel the height of our hips. Left hand extends, thumb up towards the sky. Find that balance, look straight ahead. On an inhale, we squeeze in, round that back body, push through the heel on the exhale. 3 more. We round and lengthen. Last 2. Last one here. Maybe they connect, extend, and from here you can take a bend in the right knee. Maybe take the opposite around, again finding that ankle, and then kicking through the toes, finding that beautiful bow position. We're breathing. Nice. With control, we release, toes tuck under. Let's lift through those sits bones and just pedal out the feet. Our head is heavy, shake it out side to side. And keeping your hands where they are, walk your feet a little closer so the heels can come to the mat. And we'll crisscross that left hand towards the right heel, gaze under the armpit, smile. And we'll come to the other side when you're ready. Left hand to the outside of your heel, gaze under that left armpit, bend those knees as much as you need to. And we'll release, keep your feet where they are, and let's just walk our hands back towards our toes, deepen the bend in the knees, find those opposite elbows, toes spread wide, we shake the head out side to side, lick your lips, and add a gentle sway side to side. So we open up those side bodies as you spin the elbow towards the corners of the mat. Your navel is engaged in and up towards your spine. And then we'll find stillness. Shake out that head. And we'll find our way back into our downward dog. Pedal out those feet. On our inhalation, that right leg lifts up towards the sky. We bend the knee, stack that right hip on top of the left. And let's find some nice big wide circles with our knees. We begin to lubricate those hips. And we'll change direction. And just lower that right leg down. Shake out that head. Let's just pedal out the feet between sides. That next inhalation, the left leg will lift. We bend the knee, that left hip stacks on top of the right, and we'll find some nice wide knee circles again. You can change direction. Just adding movement, lubricating that opposite hip. And we'll slowly lower that left leg down. Big toes touch. We're gonna lift our heels. Open up the arches of the feet, and just find your way into a plank position for breath here. We lift that back body, hips lift, and find your way back into your downward dog. So 3 more like that. We breathe in, you can find that rolling motion into our high plank. Open up the collarbones, hips lift, exhale, downward dog. Last 2, move with your breath. Begin engaging the muscles in the body. Exhale into your high plank. This last one will roll into our high plank. 5 counts to lower to the mat. You can drop to your knees, elbows bend. 5, 4, 3, 2, on 1. Untuck the toes, and we'll find our way into our Sphinx pose. Warming up that lower back. So elbows underneath your shoulders, root through your forearms. Feel those toenails. Let's bring our chin towards our chest. Then gently lift your head, open up the throat, relax your shoulders. And then chin back towards your chest. So just rocking the head forwards and backwards. One more, we lift our chin, throat is soft. Bring your head back to neutral. Then we'll take the gaze over the right shoulder. Back to center, gaze over the opposite shoulder. Back to center. Let's lower the forehead all the way to the mat, hands outside your chest. We tuck our toes under. We'll press through our high plank. Beautiful, into our downward dog. Eyes towards the back of the mat. So our right leg's going to lift. Let's find our warrior 1. Full breath in. And draw that right hip back. Our left shoulder forward. Ease into that right thigh. And we'll just cactus those hands. Reach that heart forward. So maybe gaze up towards the sky. Spread your fingers. Feel that foundation with your feet. We'll extend our arms, then take them to the floor. That right leg will come back. We'll pause for a beat in our high plank to low. Now a cobra or up dog. We'll meet in downward dog. Eyes towards the back of the mat. Our left leg lifts. A beautiful step forward into warrior 1. Ride that breath high. Fingers are spread wide. Energetically, we draw that left hip back, right shoulder forward, and we'll cactus our hands out towards the side. So reach your heart forward. Swallow. Feel the foundation of your feet. On an in-breath, extend the arms high into your vinyasa. So pausing for a beat in our high plank. To low, maybe add some push-ups. Baby cobra or up dog. Downward dog. Soft eye gaze at the back of the mat. You pause and breathe. Equal inhalation and exhalation. Please take one more beautiful breath in. We let it go completely. Shift your gaze forward. Step, maybe hop to the top. Halfway lift. That deep forward fold, Uttanasana, as we sit down into our chair and extend those arms up towards the sky. Take another breath here. Exhale, hands to heart center as we fold. We find that halfway lift with control, high to low plank. Cobra or upward dog. We'll meet in downward dog, eyes towards the back of the mat. Our right leg lifts. We find our warrior one. Ride that breath high. Open into warrior two. Settle into those hips. Let's reverse on the inhale. Energetically keep reaching that right knee towards the front of the mat. Now we'll take our hands to the floor. Cycle through your vinyasa, high to low. Cobra or up dog. Downward dog, eyes towards the back of the mat. Our left leg lifts. Warrior one. Ride that breath high. As we open into warrior two, let's reverse on the inhale and hands to the mat. Your vinyasa, high to low. Cobra or up dog. We'll meet in downward dog. Eyes towards the back of the mat. Finding that connection. Sipping that breath in and out through the nose. Please take one more breath here. We let that go completely. Shift the gaze forward. Step or hop to the top of the mat. Back halfway lift. Into our Uttanasana. Into our chair. So the hips are heavy. Lines of energy out through the fingertips. We tuck that tail under. Let's bring our prayer to our heart as we twist to the right. Elbows stack. Find that breath. Take another inhale here. On an exhale, we'll come back through our chair position. Lines of energy out through the fingertips. And we'll take the other side, so we bring our prayer to our heart center. Let's lift and twist. Elbows in one plane. Energetically, we squeeze those knees together. And we'll come back to center one last time into our chair. Spread those fingers wide. So we'll take our hands behind you. Look straight ahead. Let's lift our heels. Balancing on the balls of our feet. We'll drop our heels and we'll take that posture again. So we extend, heels lift, keep your eyes high, open up the arches of the feet. Nice, bug. Two more. We breathe in, hands behind you, lift those heels, press into the balls of the feet, feel those toes. One last time. We lift, hands behind us into our drinking bird. Heels down. Take your hands to your heart center and we'll fold forward. So alternate bending your knees, shake out that head. We'll find that halfway lift. With control, we step or jump our feet back, high to low. Cobra or up dog. Downward dog, eyes towards the back of the mat. Our right leg lifts. Let's bend the knee, stack that right hip on top of the left. We extend that right leg. We'll take that right knee to our right elbow. Maybe it connects. We push that leg away. Let's crisscross to that left elbow. We'll lengthen and step our leg forward into our crescent lunge and come all the way up. So arms in line with our ears. We'll bring our prayer to our hearts. Let's lift and twist to the right. So you're balancing on the ball of that left foot. You can extend. Maybe take those hands back together. On an inhale, find your way back into your crescent lunge. And let's blossom into warrior two. We'll lengthen through that right leg, setting up for our triangle. So right fingers extend, release the hand, and take that left hand up towards the sky. So let's rotate that left arm, adding some movement to the shoulder. And please change direction. When you finish that last revolution, keep that left hand up towards the sky. Now we'll take that left hand over the left ear. Let's invite that bottom hand to meet it. We're breathing for 3, for 2, on 1. We'll blossom open into warrior 2. Now hands to the mat, your vinyasa. High to low, cobra or up dog. We'll meet in downward dog, eyes towards the back of the mat. Our left leg lifts. We bend the knee, left hip on top of the right. Now extend that left leg. On an inhale, we take that left knee to the left elbow, shift that weight forward, and lengthen through the toes. Crisscross that knee to the right elbow. We extend. Now a giant step forward into our crescent lunge. Keep your eyes level, arms in line with your ears. Maybe soften through those hips. We bring our prayer to our heart. Let's lift and twist to the left. So right elbow outside that left knee, elbows in one plane. Reaching through that right heel. Can you take your navel off the thigh? Relax that jaw. Another inhale here. Complete that exhale. We'll extend our arms back high into that crescent lunge as we blossom into warrior 2. So settle in. Now straighten that left leg. Finding your way into your triangle, Trikonasana. So left hand reaches, right hand up towards the sky, and we'll start with those shoulder twists. A slight bend in that left knee. We'll change direction. Pause when your right hand reaches up towards the sky. Now we'll take that right arm up and over. Reaching that bottom hand to meet the top. You're holding that imaginary ball for 3, for 2, on 1. We blossom open into your vinyasa. Hands to the floor. Nice work. High to low. Cobra or upward dog. We'll meet in downward dog. Eyes towards the back of the mat. That left leg lifts. Bend the knee. Stack the hips. Extend that right leg. We take that right knee to the right elbow. Shift that weight forward and extend. Now crisscross that knee to the left elbow. Kick out that right leg. And we'll come onto that right hand for our falling triangle. Left hand up towards the sky. So use the leverage up your legs. Lift the hips. Open up that chest. Let the head be loose. Take another beautiful breath in here. Feel that expansion. On an exhale, that left hand comes to the floor. We'll kick the right leg up towards the sky. Bend the knee, stack that hip again. Stay here, or we'll find our wild thing. So that right foot comes behind you, left leg extends. Now lift those hips high. Right arm up and over. Feeling that gorgeous stretch. Nice, one more inhale. On an exhale, that right hand back to the mat. We'll just meet in downward dog. Pedal out the feet between sides as we shake out that head. And we'll come to the other side. So our left leg lifts. We bend the knee, we stack the hips. Extend that left leg. Take the knee to the left elbow. Shift that weight forward. Then extend that leg up towards the sky. We crisscross that knee to the right elbow. Kick out the leg. Weight into that left hand into our fallen triangle. So lift the hips, use the leverage of those feet. Right arm behind you. Find that breath. We lift with control. That right hand to the mat. The left leg lifts up towards the sky. Bend the knees, stack the hips. You stay right here. Or we find our wild thing. That left foot comes to the floor. Lift the front body. Left hand up and over. Shake out that head. Steady breathing. With control, left hand to the floor, downward dog, eyes towards the back of the mat. So pedal out the feet, we shake out that head, slow down the breath. Please take one more inhale. Let's let that go. Find your way into a child's pose. Big toes touch, forehead to the mat. Spread the fingers wide. Rock the head side to side. Lick your lips. Slow down the breath. And keeping your forehead where it is, just take your hands behind the body, finding your heels. Breathe into the back body. One more in-breath. We'll let that go. We'll take the hands back in front of you, and we'll take our hips over our knees. And you can come onto your forearms or extend your arms and find a deeper opening in the chest and the back. Maybe take your chin towards the floor. One more inhale. On an exhale, we'll walk our hands back in towards our knees, toes tuck under, lift through those sits bones into our downward dog. Eyes towards the back of the mat. So let's pedal out those feet. We'll take our big toes into that center plane. On an inhale, we find our high plank, spin the heels to the right for Vashisthasana. So maybe start easy, taking that right knee to the floor, or both legs extend. You can offset the feet or stack the ankles, left hand up towards the sky. So we'll make that rainbow shape. The hips lift, left hand up and over. We're breathing, finding that balance. Maybe elevate that top leg for 3, for 2, on 1. Left hand to the mat, find your way through high plank, and we'll spin our heels in the opposite direction. So lowering that left knee or stack those elbows. Keep that left hand underneath your left shoulder. We'll find that rainbow shape, the hips lift. Right hand up and over. Slow down that breath, keeping it rhythmic. Maybe elevate that top leg for 3, 2, on 1. Find your way through your vinyasa. So you can just meet in downward dog or high to low, a cobra or upward dog, downward dog. Eyes towards the back of the mat. We walk our hands back towards our toes. Our feet are hips distance apart. Take a slight bend in the knees. Crown of the head towards the floor. So just let your hands be loose on your mat. Shake out that head. And we'll find our peace fingers around the big toes. We lengthen our chest on the inhalation. Elbows to the side. Crown of the head towards the floor. So let go. Our shoulders draw away from the ears. Breath by breath, take more weight into the balls of the feet. Feeling the opening, the stretch on the back body. We stay here, or maybe go a little further. So sliding your hands, toes towards the wrist creases. Padahastasana, halfway lift, our spine lengthens. A slight bend in the elbows, crown of the head towards the floor. So maybe giving your feet, your toes a little wiggle, so the palms of your hands get a slight massage. We take the weight, we invite the weight into the balls of the feet. Fire those hamstrings. Shake out that head. And we'll release the hands. Spin those toes into that 45-degree angle as we settle into our malasana. So hands can support you. You can use a brick. Notice where the weight is. So we're not hanging down into our hips. You're using that core. Use the four corners of our feet, and we'll lift to, we'll go from our malasana to rise for 5 times. So root to lift. We'll bring our hands to our heart as we settle back into our squatting position. 4 more. Last 3. Expanding that air around you. Last 2 from rooting to rising. And this last one, we'll squat to lift and bring our hands to our heart center, Samasthiti. Pause and breathe. Open up those collarbones. Slowing down that breath. As we flutter our eyelids open, we'll take that left hand on our left hip. We'll bend that right knee, staying with the knee or reaching for the big toe. So option to extend that leg forward, and we'll open up the knee or the leg towards the side. Option to take that opposite hand out for balance. So we're looking straight ahead, slow down that breath. And we'll take that leg back to center. Use that left hand on the outside of the right foot, and you can extend that right hand behind you. So you find a scissor action in your legs, and maybe begin to take your gaze towards the side of your mat. And from there, an option to take your gaze towards that right thumb. And we'll slowly take our eyes back to center. We'll crisscross the right arm over the left. Maybe extend that leg. And we'll slowly release, lower it down, shake it out, and we'll come to the other side. So when you're ready, we'll bend that left knee, reach for the big toe, keep your hand on the knee. Our heart is lifted, and an option to extend that left leg. We can add some ankle twists, beautiful. Now taking that left leg to the side, option to extend the opposite arm, finding that balance. And we'll take that leg or knee back to center. Use the opposite hand on the outside of the foot. You can lengthen to the best of your ability. Maybe take that left hand behind you. So you find that scissor action in the thighs. Soften through the shoulders. And working with your drishti, your eye gaze, you can take it to the side of your mat. Maybe take the eye gaze towards that left thumb. And we'll slowly take those eyes back to center. Option to crisscross that left hand, left wrist over the right. Lift through that leg with control. Lower that leg down, shake it out. And let's come into our traditional tree. So the right foot in the inner left thigh. Hands come to that heart center. And let's just roll our shoulders up and over. We'll change direction. And taking our prayer up towards the sky. So let's separate our hands. Lift your eyes up towards the ceiling. And taking your eyes level, let's lower the right hand down. We'll take the left arm up and over. As we bend towards the right, towards that knee, Fan those ribs, open up the side bodies. And we'll take that right hand back up towards the sky. We'll lower our hands to our heart center, right foot to the mat. Again, just shake out that extra energy, and we'll come to the other side. So finding our traditional tree, left foot in the inner right thigh, hands come to our heart. This time we'll interlace our fingers. We'll press the palms towards the mat, towards the earth. Now open up your shoulders, arms in line with your head. And maybe take your gaze up towards the ceiling. From here, just separate your hands. We'll lower that left hand towards the left knee, right arm up and over. Fan those right ribs. And then left hand back up. Lower our hands to our heart center, left leg down. Just shake out that extra energy. Since it's our last class, let's see our dancers. One of my favorite postures. Right elbow, right hip, left arm up towards the sky. We bend that right knee, reach for the inner arch, squeeze those knees together. So just find your balance before you go a little further. Eyes eye level, and we start that action with the leg. So kick the toes and the leg towards the back of the space. So the leg can't move any further. Then we'll invite the reach into the posture. So that left hand is eye level. You kick and reach. Play your edge. Breathing. Beautiful. For 3, for 2, and on 1. Let's lift, lower, back to Samastiti, equal standing pose. We'll come to the other side. So that left elbow towards our left hip, bend the left knee, reach for the inner arch, hug those knees together, and extend the opposite hand. So feeling the stretch with the lift of the right arm, knees are still squeezing towards one another. That engages our core. Now start that kicking action. Left toes up into the back of your space till you can't go any further than inviting that reach. So we find that balance in every posture between effort and ease. Kicking and reaching, breathing. Let's take 3 more breaths here. And when you're ready, inhale up, hands to your heart center. Let's release the hands, we'll spin it out. That happy life is a happy spine.
Happy wife too.
And a happy wife. Moving the spine in all different directions, keeping that energy circulating through the body. Last 3, 2, 1. Feeling that prana, that tingling. Nice, we'll meet at the top of our mats. Taking a vinyasa, a full breath in. Forward fold, uttanasana. Halfway lift. Step or jump those feet back, high to low. Cobra or up dog. Downward dog, eyes towards the back of the mat. So we'll drop our knees onto the floor, finding our way into camel. So we just did our dancer, we've warmed up the back. So great time to add our camel into our practice. So we'll take our first one with our knees bent, hands on our hips, open up that chest. Imagine those elbows connecting towards that back body. Our hips press forward, open up the throat. Steady breathing, maybe reaching for those heels.
So just listening to our breath, our barometer, our gauge in our postures. If we're holding our breath, we've gone too far. So take one more inhale here. We let that go. Lift your heart.
Keeping those arches, those toes tucked under, we'll settle our bum on our heels. And we'll take our hands, our fingers towards our knees. So opening up the wrists. So try easy. So maybe that means bringing your hands closer towards your knees. Stretching out the wrists. And we'll turn the back of our hands onto our mats. Now watch those shoulders, let them go. And one last wrist opener. We'll interlace our fingers and find that infinity motion in one direction. And we'll change direction. Always harder for me on this side. Shake out that energy. Let's add some energy to the tops of our feet. And last Ustrasana, last camel. So we walk our hands up to our thighs. Same setup. Find the foundation here into your shins and your toes, tops of the feet. Hands on your hips. Hug those elbows towards one another as we reach our heart forward. Great time to do this posture in front of a wall. So you can feel the body as it connects with the wall in front of you. Stay here, or maybe go a little further, reaching for those heels. We're breathing consistently. Hip points push a little further to the top of your mat. For 3, 2, on 1, hands to your hips, use your core. Let's take our hands on the floor and find a few cat-cows here. So we lift our eyes on the inhale, chin to our chest on the exhale. Breathe in, chin towards our chest. Couple more here. Last inhale, our heart lifts, open up the collarbones, chin towards our chest. We'll come back to neutral and just windshield wiper your feet side to side here. We'll cross our ankles, roll onto our bottoms, and let's give ourselves a nice big hug. So finding the finger pads, the elbows, the wrists, whatever's available, but just squeeze those knees into your chest. Relax your face. Swallow. We'll take our feet on the floor. We'll do 2 bridges this morning. So we'll start with our traditional bridge. Turn the palms up towards the sky. Sides of the feet are parallel to the mat. Press your feet into the floor. Let's lift those hip points. Walk your shoulders underneath. You can hang on to your heels, maybe interlace those fingers. So we've done a lot of back exercises this morning. Energetically, those knees are squeezing in towards one another. Let's take 2 more breaths here. Watching the rise and fall of your chest. Last full breath in. On an exhale, slowly release the hands. Let's allow those knees to kiss. Walk your feet out. Let's take our hands on our heart center. And whispering something we're grateful for. Stacy, we're so grateful for you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. And Max.
Max more.
Stacy more. So we'll open up our knees and we'll do another bridge or full wheel. So I'm going to take the full wheel this morning. Any version of bridge if you want to stay with bridge, but we've got a nice warm back. Fingers underneath your shoulders. We'll come onto the crown of our head. Press your hands into the floor. Finding your full expression of the posture. So melt your heart forward, straightening through those arms. 2 more breaths. We take another inhale. Let that go. Chin towards your chest. Unwind the spine into our Supta Baddha Konasana, the soles of our feet together. Hand on our hearts. And I have to say, I'm grateful for my husband. Thank you for being with me.
You're welcome.
Thank you for being the bee in ABC Yoga.
It used to be Beth. I replaced the Beth with the Bell.
We'll take our hands now outside our knees, squeeze those knees in, and we'll rock and roll. Backwards and forwards into our boat pose. So let's hover those knees, extend those arms in front of you, squeeze those knees towards one another. So we'll just alternate, lifting opposite foot, using that core. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Cross your ankles, hands by your hips. We lift. 1 more. Let's find Navasana, our boat pose. So maybe straightening through those legs. Little shaking and baking here for 3, 2, on 1, cross opposite ankles. We lift and cycle through a vinyasa or just meet in downward dog. We'll take that right leg up towards the sky and find our pigeon. Woo! Right knee, right thumb. Extend that left leg. Lifting through the heart. Then we find our way forward into our full expression. So great time to take a body scan here, starting from the crown of your head. Notice what's connected with the mat. Relax those shoulders. Engage that navel. We unhinge our jaw. And just notice the top of the thigh, maybe the knee, part of the shin, the toes, whatever's connected to the floor. Two more breaths. A final full inhale. Let's let that go. Lift your heart. We'll walk our hands in. We'll take an optional bend in the left knee. Same hand, left hand reaches behind. Draw that heel in. You spin your chest towards the front of the mat. Maybe extend the opposite arm. We're spring loaded, so gently release. Tuck your toes under, step into downward dog. Option to cycle through a vinyasa. We'll meet in downward dog. The left leg lifts and finding Rajakapotasana, our pigeon on the other side. So right toes untuck, walk those hands forward as we settle in. Again, taking that body scan. Shoulders draw away from your ears. Noticing how much pressure you're using on your forearms. You want the hips to do the work. Couple more breaths. Take a final full inhale here. Let's let that go. We lift our heart, walk your hands towards the center of the body, Option to bend that right knee. You can reach the same hand around for the toes, finding mermaid pose, maybe extending the left arm, but you look straight ahead. And again, that leg is spring loaded, so gently release as we take weight into that left hip, swing both legs around into our forward fold. So a full breath in here, toes flex, soften those knees, and reaching for the ankles, the heels, the toes as we fold over. Sending the breath on the back body. Slowing down the breath. Let's lift our heart. We'll come onto our backs into a plow position. So option just to stay here with keeping your legs up towards the sky, or you take the toes up and over your head, support that lower back. Again, you want to keep that consistent rhythmic breath. You can take your legs up for a shoulder stand. Option here to bend your knees. Squeeze those knees in towards your head. And we'll slowly begin to unwind that spine, vertebra by vertebra. Hands can support underneath your hips as we slowly lower those legs down. And we'll bend those knees back into our chest again, giving yourself a nice hug, forehead towards your knees, lengthen out that neck. So head and shoulders back on the floor. Please extend that left leg. We'll find some ankle twist in that right foot. And we'll twist in the opposite direction. And taking that right knee towards the left side of your mat, a gentle twist. Option to gaze over that right shoulder. So keeping that right knee bent, or maybe extend that right leg. Finding that IT band stretch here. We'll take a bend back in that right knee. Take that knee back towards your chest, and we'll just open that right knee to the right side of your mat. And then lengthen through that right leg, shake it out. And coming to the other side. So we bend that left knee, hug it into your chest, feel that contraction. And we'll find some ankle twists in one direction. And we change direction. As we take the knee across the body, extend that opposite arm, maybe take your gaze over that left shoulder. Finding that breath. And keeping that left knee bent, or maybe extend that leg. So play that edge. Rhythmic breathing. We'll take a bend back in that left knee, roll back onto your back body. Both knees will hug into your chest again. So we'll cactus our hands out to the side. Let's drop our knees to the right. Squeeze those knees in towards one another. Gaze over that left shoulder. Lick your lips, clean your teeth with your tongue. And we'll squeeze those knees together, bring them back to center, and they'll fall in the opposite direction. Gaze over that right shoulder. Relax the body.
And one more posture, we draw those knees back to center. We find our happy baby. So find the outer edges of the feet. Knees are heavy. You can rock side to side. Pause in our stillness. And slowly allow those legs to come to the mat. Turn your palms up towards the sky. We're going to squeeze everything for 5, 4, 3, 2, let go on 1. We find that next incoming breath. Gently let it go. On an inhale, extend the arms up overhead. Add some wiggle to the toes and the fingers. And we'll hug those knees back into our chest. As you find either side of the body, pause for a breath or two. We'll come back to a comfortable seated position, our eyes soft or closed. Hands can rest on top of your thighs as you feel the effects of your practice this morning. And inviting you to bring your hands to your heart center, remembering that dedication or intention you made at the beginning of class. And let's join our voices to seal class with one beautiful Om. Sip in the inhale. Om. The light within me honors and recognizes the light within all of you. Thank you for a beautiful practice and a beautiful run. Namaste.
4 years, baby.
4 years, baby. Thank you. Here comes the sun. Miss Stacy, we're gonna miss